All right, so now we are on to the lesson. So this is the lesson itself, how to keep the biblical Sabbath, which is Saturday, not Sunday. And so you see I have there Exodus 31:15, King James Version. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. I give my commentary. So I just showed that because I wanted to show y'all how this goes. So, I read the scripture and then I give my commentary on it. All right, so we have 6 days to work and earn an income and do us. But on the Sabbath day, which is Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, we are not to work or do any hobbies we like to do throughout the week. The Sabbath is holy unto the Most High. It's His day, meaning it's the day He set aside for you, for us, to worship Him. Because on the Sabbath / seventh day, He rested. It's a day to honor Him. His Son was placed in the tomb on the Sabbath day, and He did not rise on Sunday. When the true children of Israel had the kingdom ruled by David and them, the judgment for breaking this law was death. Matthew, I'm sorry, Exodus 31, verse 16 through 17. Wherefore, the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. Verse 17, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. Forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day He rested and was refreshed. Just to reinforce, this is an everlasting covenant that lasts forever. And I'm saying it like that because some people act like they don't know what forever means. That lasts forever. That the children of Israel, the so called Negro, Native Americans, Mexicans, Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, Haitians, the Dominican Republic, I'm sorry, Puerto Ricans. There's about five more. And the branch grafted into their agreement with God have to keep. So, this is a covenant that the children of Israel and the branch grafted into their agreement with the Most High have to keep. Just in case you forgot, there is no Sunday worship in the Bible. We are to keep the Sabbath, which is on Saturday. Exodus 20, verses 10 through 11. But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Again, 6 days to work. No work or recreational activities that we do throughout the week can be done on the Sabbath. Gentiles living with the Israelites included. No one in our household or neighborhoods could work. This means in today's society, parents cannot send their sons out to mow the lawn on Saturday, the Sabbath. If you own a business, all your employees are off on the Sabbath. You cannot even use your animals like the cattle to till land or horses to carry freight. They had the day off. This is what the Most High instituted, not Little John, not or the church. Everyone in the land that took part in God's covenant did not work on the day He said no work. Praise me. He blessed His special day and made it holy. All right, so continuing on in Exodus 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning. This means cook enough for 2 days because you can't cook on the Sabbath. Cooking is a form of work. Let's not be dense. Warming up food already prepared, warming up food in the microwave that's already prepared is not cooking. In the wilderness, God told the children of Israel to gather enough manna to eat for 2 days because no manna will fall on the Sabbath day because everything shuts down on the Sabbath in heaven as well. Basically, sometime Friday morning, evening, cook a big dinner, enough for you to have leftovers for the next Saturday sunset. You know how people have a big Sunday dinner and usually the leftovers are what's for dinner on Monday? Well, everybody that's probably not in my family because my family, you know what, never mind. Well, this is supposed to be done on Friday. Instead of Big Mama cooking all day Saturday for Sunday's dinner, she should have been cooking all day Friday for dinner on Saturday, Sabbath. See, everything that we do is just, we should be doing it a day before. Like, that's the only thing, like, but it's not our fault that we got thrown off. It's our fault that we continued. But this was brought against us by the Roman Catholic Church. They are the ones who changed the Sabbath. Oops, I'm giving that answer too early, but let me continue on. Nehemiah 13, verse 15 through 16, King James Version. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Nehemiah is seeing Gentiles coming to exploit, make money off of them, the children of Israel, on the Sabbath day. The Gentiles back then knew the Sabbath day law. They kept the Sabbath. They knew the Sabbath is a sign between the Most High and the children of Israel. They know this today as well. The men of Tyre came, in parentheses, other heathen were there as well, in parentheses, and set up shop, parentheses, like the vendors at a fair. Some were from other countries that came from distant lands to make money off the children of Israel, and was selling fish and etc. to the children of Israel, getting them to sin against the Most High on the Sabbath day, in which they knew they were not supposed to be buying on the Sabbath. This is happening today with the Arabs and Asians. Most of their shops are set up in the children of Israel, Negro neighborhoods to be open 24/7. Nothing has changed. They even get grants from the government to do it. Nehemiah 13:17 through 18. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Verse 18. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. Nehemiah is talking to the elders, to the leaders, basically saying, what are y'all doing letting these people come in and sell their stuff, profaning the Sabbath? Don't you realize how we were just chastened, in parentheses, slavery, about this? We just got the kingdom back and y'all backsliding already. And at this time, they were just getting back into Jerusalem, which is in Israel, and rebuilding the temple that was destroyed. He was basically going on a rant about them going off and allowing the heathens to be doing what Nehemiah had seen. There's no buying or selling on the Sabbath. Nehemiah 13, verse 19. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should be no burden, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. Nehemiah came up with a plan to stop the Israelites from profaning the Sabbath and Gentiles from coming to profit off the children of Israel. So after he had the gate to the city closed, the Gentile merchants were loitering outside the city walls, trying to figure out ways to get in and sell to the children of Israel. Obviously, we must have been spending a lot of money with the Gentiles if they were wasting time waiting outside the city walls. That's how I know we are the children of Israel. We even spend money today like we did back then. Everyone knows we, blacks, Negroes, the real children of Israel, will support everyone else but our own. That's why all the different Gentile-owned corner store, beauty supplies, Chinese food, and etc. are all in our neighborhoods. They know we spend money. And they will even tell you this. What they won't tell you is they know who we are today. And they can't stand us for real, for real. We not, I just don't see how people can't put two and two together. Even with this verse, if these people was waiting outside the city walls, loitering, trying to get us to, that must mean we was spending money. I wonder who else today is the most people standing outside, lines wrapped around a building for a ticket to buy some shoes for a man that don't even play basketball no more. Nehemiah 13, verse 20 and 21, King James Version. Verse 20, so the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. Nehemiah told them if he caught them, the Gentiles, outside the city trying to get in and sell, he was going to beat their butts. We Negroes are even using the same slang that our ancestors spoke in the Bible. Can't get it? You can't get that you these people? You even still talk like them. I'm going to put paws on you. I'm going to put my hands on you. I'm going to lay hands on you. Who talk like that, Nehemiah? These men, prophets of old, were hardcore. And they would lay hands on a lot of these pastors of today who took their writings and butchered them. These men used profanity and would tell you like it is. They were not soft. They did not play any games. Peter denied Christ 3 times, and the last time he cursed, swore. He wasn't standing there, oh no, I don't know Christ. I'm denying that. I don't know Christ. Who is that man? That wasn't him. That wasn't Peter. But that's how you people in the Sunday church, that's how you make the disciples seem like they are. That's how you make Christ seem like he is. Oh, I love everybody. I love you. You love me. Let's get together and be a family with a great big hug and kiss from me to you. That's how you Sunday pastors make Christ sound. That's why the church is going through what it's going through today. Because you have totally annihilated these scriptures. You changed you've changed how these men really were. You make them appear soft because you soft in your cheap polyester suits. These men were not soft. They did not play games. Peter denied Christ, and like I said, he swore and denied him. He went off, but Christ still used him. They did not speak using thou and all of them Shakespeare words either. Oh, Lord, thy God. The words Lord, God, Jesus, they came from the Roman Catholic Church under Satan. That was another plan, translating the Bible using words like thou, hitherto. That's why a lot of us have problems talking like this and pronounce. We didn't talk like this to make you all think that the important people in the Bible were white when they weren't. They made the dialect of the biblical people seem white. They know we have never spoken like that. Nehemiah understood the curses of Deuteronomy 28. He knew if the children of Israel kept profaning the Sabbath, eventually we would go into slavery like we did, hence all the captivities we have been through. They must have known Nehemiah was serious and didn't want to fight because they sure didn't come back. Continuing on, Isaiah 58, verse 13 through 14. 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. Then, verse 14, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. The Most High said, everything we like to do that is lawful, do it. But on the seventh day, we cannot do what we like to do during the week. It is a day of learning, worshiping, resting our mind and body. So this means no sports, TV, period. In which I recommend people stop watching TV unless it's the good news. I like to keep up, I watch different things like Sabbath lessons, from a gathering of Christ Church, GOCC. I watch different other groups as well. Uh, I don't even have TV. I don't even have internet. I don't I don't watch TV. I have no need for it. I don't need to watch the news. For what? It's all propaganda anyway. That's what y'all finding out. I've been saying this now since at least 2014. Um, no beauty slash barbershop on Saturday, but after sunset is okay. No Friday night dinner and a movie, but Sunday night is cool. Any pleasure we have throughout the week, we are to set aside from the Sabbath day. If we do this, then he will feed us with the heritage of our father Jacob. He will pour out the blessings of Deuteronomy 28. And that's what verses 1 through 14. Uh, King James Version. A lot of young people are waking up, realizing and accepting who they are. This is a bloodline. They understand what our ancestors did and how we followed in their footsteps. Most of the young generation are attempting to learn and follow the commandments. It's the older saints who won't even hear this truth, rejecting the Savior just as we did when he dwelt among us in the flesh. This whole ordeal reminds me of when the 12 people from Israel went to spy in the land of Canaan. And I don't even like calling it the land of Canaan because it wasn't the land of Canaan. When Ham and his sons got off the boat, Canaan just decided they was going to dwell there. They just decided that they was just going to dwell there. Like, no, we just going like squatters. They just decided to squat on the land. So there ain't no land of Canaan. That was never their land. They just decided that they was gonna squat there. That land had been given to Shem before they even got off the boat. The older saints of today are like the 10 spies who gave a negative report. They lacked faith. They didn't make it in because they didn't believe God would give them the land. The younger saints are like two spies, Caleb and Joshua. They have faith that the Most High is telling them who they are, and they are returning to their heritage, which is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Father. Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, Hebrew meaning I am that I am, the name God gave Moses at the burning bush. I believe it's Exodus 3 and 14. Through his son, Yeshua, Hebrew meaning my Savior, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So if you are a Sunday keeping church only, your church will start to become a bit empty in the last days. Expect to see people leaving to find a church that has service on Saturday. People are waking up. The black celebrities are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, telling the truth about who we are. It's just a matter of time before we all know. And to my family, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you. I know a lot of you hate me because you don't have the knowledge that I have. And you can't believe that it's me. Why me? Why not you? I tried to tell you though. The first thing people need to learn when coming into the truth is the Sabbath day. It's the most important law because it's the law that people break the most. Matthew 12, verses 1 through 4, King James Version. At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were and hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? This is where grace comes in. Everyone should know this by now. This is where the Pharisee tried to accuse the Messiah and his disciples of doing work on the Sabbath. The Messiah uses a situation that happened with the priest and King David to explain how grace applies to the law. David was starving, and the priest gave David the showbread, which was only meant to be eaten by the Levites, the only ones who could be priests. And David is of Judah, which makes it unlawful for him to eat the showbread. But because there was no other food around, what was the man supposed to do? Starve? I mean, he is the king of Israel. So let the king starve. Loving thy neighbor as thyself trumps what's written in the law, therefore making it lawful to do good. You have to have sense enough to know when you're in a situation like that, which was stated. But see, the Pharisees, when y'all reading this Bible, see these people that's in these churches on Sunday, they just, they don't know the history for real. These Pharisees that was accusing that Christ was arguing with, they was white. They weren't even the original Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes. They had been replaced. There have been converts going on even before Christ came in the flesh. So in a lot of the stuff, when you see Christ talking to these, when you see Christ, a black man, talking to these Pharisees and Sadducees, he was talking to white people. The white people that came in and trying to, it's this way. No, it's not. Continuing on, Matthew 12 and 5, King James Version. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Now the Messiah is referencing in the law to the Pharisees, saying the priest profaned every Sabbath and was blameless. Under the law, it is prohibited to do work on the Sabbath, but the priesthood had to work on the Sabbath, doing the bloody sacrifices, sprinkling the blood of animals around the altar. It was not the cleanest job, like how today you see most of your pastors in their flashy suits, in they in they polyester suits, they colorful suits, and they gator shoes, with the eyes in it, burnt offerings, but they were without blame because they were doing the work of the Most High that He ordained for them to do. Matthew 12:6-7, King James Version, verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. Verse 7. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. Because the Most High is going to grant mercy in certain situations, such as people that do health care. If you can't get the Sabbath off, cool. But if you can't get the Sabbath off, and the Most High will know whether you could or not, then He will be merciful. You have to be sincere and proactive about getting the Sabbath off. This means talking to your boss, letting them know your views about the Sabbath, how you want that time off, and maybe they can fit you in. This excludes those of you who love to pick up extra hours on the weekends. You don't have the mercy to do that. If you normally work in between Friday sunset and Saturday sunset, you just happen to get that time frame off. This world is so far from God, we don't even go by His time. But He gave the world into the hands of the wicked. Parentheses. You must definitely should worship on the Sabbath. Let me say that again. If you normally work in between Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, and you just happen to get that time frame off, you most definitely should worship on the Sabbath. If you can never get that time frame off, even after asking, then it's time to find a new job. You have to step out on faith and know that He will supply your needs in accordance to what He needs you to do or be. It's His will, it's His way. It's a lot of people coming into the truth that work on the Sabbath day, but they pray and fast still on the Sabbath. And when they get a Sabbath day off, they worship. Praying and fasting will get you a job to where you can worship the Most High on the Sabbath day. He is a merciful God. He is not some robot in the sky, but you have to use wisdom. This does not mean just up and quit your job. That would not be wise. My experience, I just recently quit my job back in April. I was working for Comcast, or Cascom as I like to call them. And I worked there for almost up to 8 years. There were times where shifts that I did have, I would have Saturdays off. Majority of the time spent working there, I did have Saturdays off. There were some times where I didn't, but I still would worship. I still, sometimes by the end, towards the end, if I had, vacation time, I would just take the day off, So I'm working a new job now. All praises to the Most High, that I really do love. I'm thankful for that job, and I have Saturdays off currently now, so I'm grateful. He'll make a way if that's what you really want. He will make a way. Our God is can't put Him in a box. He can do many wonderful things if we just step out His way and let Him.